I started getting D's and F's in 4th grade. I consciously walked into 4th grade and said, I'm out. You don't want to go to college? You don't have to go to college. You don't want to be a doctor? You don't have to go be a doctor, right? I think people value money too much because they think it buys them happiness. I don't think you get the same returns by overwhelmingly working on your weaknesses as you do on tripling down on your strengths.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to have self-awareness, make sacrifices, and love the game with Gary Vaynerchuk and my take on his top 10 rules of success, volume 24. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, have self-awareness.
Entrepreneurship is scary, and you have to fight against the system, and you have to see things others don't, and you have to challenge norms. And I quit school in 3rd grade. You know, like, I did. Like, it's super weird, but like, I started getting D's and F's in 4th grade. I consciously walked into 4th grade and said, I'm out. I did. And it was mainly because for who knows why, and I really have no answer for this, but I just remember, I mean, 4th grade, you're a babe. I'm looking at like other, like, it's crazy to me that I actually had the thought process of, this isn't for me, I know who I am, I'm gonna be this, and I don't care about the periodic table.
Rule number 2, make sacrifices.
You don't want to go to college? You don't have to go to college. You don't want to be a doctor? You don't have to go be a doctor, right? But that also means that if that's what your parents want and that's what they're willing to pay for, you can't be like, hey mom, you know how you're gonna give me $80,000 to go be a doctor? That's what you want? Well, I don't want that. I want to be a painter, so give me that $80,000. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You have to leave that on the table. That money, that infrastructure comes with that ambition. Like, if you want that safety and that money, well, that means you're gonna be a lawyer. If you wanna be a motorcycle racer, that means you're gonna live in a studio apartment with 19 friends. People ask the dumbest shit. This kid the other day is like, Gary V, but how do you do this in the Bay Area? It's so expensive. Like, you moved. You don't live in the Bay Area.
You have a choice.
People are like, Gary, what the f? Like, you're trying to pay $14 an hour? How do you survive in New York City? I'm like, you live in Queens and you take, like you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. You have options.
People aren't willing to sacrifice for what they want.
Rule number 3, love the game.
I do not care about money. I love the game. Like, people buy dumb shit. Like, lately people have been coming at me a little bit. It happened this week, and they're like, wait a minute. You keep telling all of us that you didn't make any money, but how'd you have money to invest in Facebook, Uber, and Twitter? Just like a thing that's popped up this last week. And I'm laughing, because I'm replying, I'm like, because I lived in an $1,100 a month apartment that was a piece of shit in Jersey. I went on no vacations, I bought no $4 coffee, I didn't buy any swag clothes, and I saved. I made $41,000 a year the first 3 years of my career, and I saved $9,000 each of those years. You know how many in here make $70K a year and lose money each year? Because they got a I didn't have a credit card until I was 27. I had a debit card because I wasn't gonna spend money I didn't have. I don't give a about money, I care about the game. So when I lose money, I don't care because I just don't care about it. I think people value money too much because they think it buys them happiness. Like, people think that, and I really don't believe it. I really don't.
Rule number 4, don't dwell on your weaknesses.
I don't think you get the same returns by overwhelmingly working on your weaknesses as you do on tripling down on your strengths. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's so clear to me. I think so much of what I talk about is predicated on not only my successes, but watching my family members, watching that whole ecosystem of startup founders, just watching. I watch a lot. I read a lot of like people's behavior more so than, you know, books or things of that nature. And so, yeah, I mean, I believe that the entrepreneurs that have gone on to quadruple down on their strengths and then hire around their weaknesses have had much better success than the ones that dwell on their shortcomings because somebody they look up to was good at it and said it was important, and they waste their time on something they'll never be.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, motivation, and self-love, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
I really think mindset is everything, and so you've got to really decide, are you gonna be positive about things or negative about things? My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a f***ing note. Like, that scares the piss out of me what these three people are doing right now. In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in.
Rule number 5, change your perspective.
I'm unbelievably in tune with the fact that it's almost impossible to become a human being, and I have no interest in taking that for granted. I love when analytical people, so when I have a very deeply math kid in front of me and we're having some sort of debate and they're upset about something, I'm like, you do know the odds of being a human being are 400 trillion to 1, right? Like, I think that what drives me is an unbelievably clear perspective to how lucky we are to have an at-bat, and I'm struggling to dwell on dumb shit. As long as 8 people that I love more than life are alive that morning, I'm in good spirits. I really am. Yeah, you know, like, I think adversity and humble beginnings is an incredibly good framework to happiness if you layer positivity and optimism around your difficulty. A lot of times people look at their difficulty and dwell and go the other way. So for me, I'm excited every day because I get to play.
Rule number 6, prioritize culture.
People who are dragging down the culture of a business shouldn't be there. It's risks.
I wish most businesses were into documenting and coach. What most businesses are doing is, Harold's a dick, but his numbers are remarkable.
Yeah.
That's what's really happening. That's what I'm referring to. That if you've got somebody who's driving top line revenue, or is she or he is crushing their numbers, what most companies are doing is they're looking at surface level. They're like, ooh, if we fire Carol, we're gonna lose those 3 accounts because she's so wired in there. What they don't realize is the hidden lost revenue that's happening with Carol or Harold destroying the culture and completely messing up the continuity and speed of the macro.
So what do you do, from your point of view, what do you do if you have someone who's really kicking ass, bringing the numbers in, and they're just they're a jerk? What do you do with them?
What I do, one man's point of view, is I sit them down, I look them dead in the face and I say, you think I'm joking because you're delivering, but I'm not joking, and if you can't be a good human being, I'm going to fire your face.
Rule number 7, grow through adversity.
I grew up really lucky in the fact that I had disproportionate adversity in the first decade of my life. You know, I was born in Belarus. We came to the US when I was 3. I lived in a studio apartment with 8 family members. You know, it was super immigrant, right? We didn't speak English. Like, you know, my dad, I didn't even know my dad until I was 14 years old and started working in his liquor store because he woke up to go to work before I woke up, and he got home after I fell asleep. I went on 1 family vacation in my entire life, you know, or 2 in my entire high school life, both to Disney World in Orlando, you know, stayed in a Holiday Inn. Like, we kept it humble. We didn't buy dumb shit, you know, like, you know, I basically wore liquor t-shirts my whole life through high school because they were free from the liquor store. Like, the level of humility and a lot of my ability to not worry about others was predicated on circumstance. Like, you know, and I really think that I'm the beneficiary of very good parenting and very lucky circumstances. And those lucky circumstances in my mind was I was never handed anything ever.
Rule number 8, be patient.
So Gary, if there's one thing you want to tell every creative out there that's struggling now, that's trying to like get up to their career, what would that one thing be?
It takes years of great creative work to get to that place. Like, stop judging yourself. Just because this one video didn't get as many views or not as many likes, don't judge yourself in the daily, judge yourself in the yearly, and slow it down, be patient.
Rule number 9, love losing.
I love losing. Like, micro losing especially, more than macro losing, is incredibly motivating.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's nothing more fun than losing regular season games.
Right.
You know, you learn from them. You know, come the playoffs, you'd like to build on that. But yeah, I mean, I think adversity is the foundation of success. My losses are my losses, and my wins are my wins, and they both feel the same. When I hear the accolades or when I get razzed, I basically can't hear them. I'm just so in love with the process. And that's what getting up off the floor is. You had no choice. It's in your DNA to want to play.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is find true happiness.
The most important thing I think about when I think about getting to happiness is not so much owning anything, it's the ability to not hear anything but yourself. There's nothing more powerful than when everything gets quiet and the only thing that penetrates is your own voice, and that voice isn't judging you.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Gary on how to master your craft that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, what does true happiness look like for you? Number 2, what's the adversity that you need to grow through? And number 3, what's the weakness you have that you need to stop dwelling on?
I do not think anybody who goes to college and studies entrepreneurship can beat me in entrepreneurship. That doesn't mean it's right. And it's just kind of how my brain works. Like, I feel like it's a craft. Like, I don't think like, I think of it as we have not defined entrepreneurship properly. Here's why. Again, I absolutely believe people that go to school for entrepreneurship can get better at entrepreneurship from that process. I desperately believe that entrepreneurship is a talent similar to singing and playing sports. And I think that I'm on that spectrum, and that gives me confidence in this one little narrow thing of entrepreneurship, because while everybody else was studying in school and like playing sports and doing whatever they were interested in, I was constantly entrepreneuring. Right? And so I just have so much natural ability and so many years of practice that I feel like I'm on the extreme, and that's why I'm confident about it. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want more Gary Vee, check out the top 50 rules for success video I made on him. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I don't think there's anything wrong with chasing money. I just think that it's usually the quickest way not to get it. Work ethic is controllable.